James and Jennifer Crumbley, parents of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley, have both been sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison for manslaughter. Surprising. Their son Ethan has already pled guilty and is now serving a life sentence without parole for the mass shooting at Oxford High School in 2021. Ethan was 15 years old at the time of the shooting and performed the act with a handgun bought for him by his parents. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't know about buying a 15-year-old his own or her own gun, especially a handgun. I have 4 kids, so I know a little bit about kids. Well, actually, 3 of my 4 kids, they aren't kids anymore. They're grown. And then I have a 2-year-old. I know. How did that happen? I know. But I know a little bit about children and raising children, and I just don't understand the thought process behind buying a young teenager a gun. Now, if you want to teach them how to hunt, take them to the gun range and let them use your gun with your supervision and your training, I'm all for that. But them having their own personal gun, I just don't see the benefits of it. I worked at a pawn shop for a while back in the day, and I encountered a lot of people who were buying guns for their children. Now, I will say most of these people were buying rifles for their kids. Now, I don't know if that's better or worse, but I do know this rifle is not going to be as easy to conceal. It's not going to be as easy to transport and sneak into a building, say like a school. Although, as we know, it has been done before, so they can sneak the rifles in there as well. But I'm just saying, I think the handgun is a lot easier to be mobile with and hide. Hide from your parents that you're leaving the house with it. But that doesn't seem to matter these days. Anyway, these kids are getting outside of the house with these guns, going to do whatever with them. And some kids are getting guns from God knows where and who. Parents are not even involved. But again, parents can do their part. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like. Thank you. In their closing remarks, both parents asked for fair sentencing, which would include house arrest, probation, or time served, which was a little over 2 years. Ms. Crumbley expressed sorrow for the families of the victims. She also doubled down on her statements from earlier, saying she would not do anything differently pertaining to the way she handled the situation with her son, saying she did not know anything was going on out of the ordinary with Ethan. Now, hold on. From what I've read, this young man was drawing violent pictures and writing things saying that his life doesn't mean anything. Now, as I said before, I know a little bit about kids, just a little bit. And I know kids are not going to tell you everything word for word. They're not going to let you know exactly what's going on with them in a lot of cases. But I will say you know something is going on with them. You might not know what, but you know something isn't right with your child. And if they're thinking their life is worthless, if their life doesn't mean anything, I guarantee you it's signs showing you leading up to that. It's some red flags going on. Did you not pay attention? Maybe that's the case. I don't want to say you didn't care. We'll just say you didn't pay attention. Life is hard. We have a lot going on. You didn't pay attention that the son seemed depressed, seemed like he had something going on with him. Now, furthermore, On the day of the shooting, school officials called Ethan's parents, asking them to come get him from school early that day because of those drawings, those violent drawings. The Crumbleys refused to come pick him up from school. Again, this was the same day that the shooting occurred. When I first saw the Crumbleys getting arrested and taken to jail, I'm not going to lie, I felt some type of way. I thought that this would open the doors to try to put parents in jail for the actions of their kids, and they may not, well, in a lot of cases, they don't have control over the actions of their kids. But in this case, I feel like it's different. Mainly because the school called and asked the Crumbleys to come get Ethan that day. They told them what was going on, and the parents, for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure I can't get up. As a matter of fact, you know what? I know Mrs. Crumbley said that she couldn't get off from work to come get him. But then her boss testified that she could very well get Ethan if need be and bring him to work with her if that was the case, if that's what she needed to do. Hey, who's to say if the boss was lying or not? But that doesn't change the fact that the school called you that day to tell you what was going on. Nothing is more important than your son, right? I would think so. If nothing else, I would have come to check on my son for his safety to make sure he doesn't do anything to himself. Again, that's, if nothing else, you neglected this situation and look what happened. So I don't think this is just a case of punishing the parents for what the child did. I think this is a case of punishing the parents for being negligent, for not seeing the signs, for not being responsible. Now, to me, this looks like a 2A loving family. For those that don't know, 2A is Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Now, what I would say is, with rights comes responsibilities. If you're going to buy your child a gun, you better damn well make sure you can keep tabs on that gun at all times. A 15-year-old child doesn't really have a firm grasp on life. Some have a better grasp than others. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know I thought and did some stupid stuff when I was 15. And I would imagine most people, if they look back, would feel the same way. I'm glad I didn't have access to a gun at 15. And don't write me off as a liberal gun hater. I have 6 guns in my house right now. Well, 5. 5 guns in my house right now because my wife isn't here. You know what that means. So I'm a gun lover myself, but I do realize we just can't let any and everybody run around all willy-nilly with any and every kind of gun they want to have. I personally don't think that's what the Second Amendment is about. And even if it is, guess what? That was written over 200 years ago. Sometime it's time to upgrade some stuff. They've done it before. As a matter of fact, the fact that it's the Second Amendment tells you that it wasn't even originally put in the Constitution in the first place. It's something they thought of and put in later. They upgraded the Constitution. Maybe it's time to upgrade again in accordance to the society we live in today. That's just my thoughts. Now, this video right here is what YouTube thinks is the best video for you to watch next. Check it out. I'm Jay, and if my kids out there watching, You better not do nothing to get me put in jail. And I approve this message.